Live better and longer with the Fitzness Show, hosted by fitness expert, author, and TV personality Fitz Kohler. She'll tell you why diets are dumb, supplements are snake oil, and the truth about how you can earn a lean, hard, pain-free, and athletic body. Now for our favorite bossy blonde, Fitz Kohler.
Well, hi team. I'm Fitz Kohler, your outrageously bossy fitness pro from fitzness.com, and welcome to the Fitzness Show. Today I have a spectacular guest to talk to. So, as many of you know, I did cancer. That's right. I tangoed. I did the big dance with the big C in 2019 and 2020, and I gave it 0 stars. I gave it 2 thumbs down. But there's also this bright side, after effect, afterglow, which is this community of people you fall into and you meet other great people who have had the big C, and some people just do really wonderful things in the aftermath. And that's where we're going to go today. If you haven't done so already, don't forget to click like, subscribe. If you subscribe wherever you're listening to the Fitzness Show right now, whenever I come on and make happy noise and start bossing you around, you will get notification. And obviously you want that. Also, don't forget, you supercharge. The exact formula for fitness, weight loss, and longevity is out right now. And if you don't get it, you're just going to be less than you could be. So order now. Okay. So on to my guest. So I was introduced to this man from Matt and Tom. I was a guest on their podcast last week, and they said, we both want you to meet Matthew Zachary. And so they instantly connected us, and I think I fell in love over text. Not only is he Matthew Zachary, but now he's my Matato. He's my Matato. He already has a nickname, and this is our first time getting face-to-face. So what you need to know is, I think it was at 21, he was diagnosed with brain cancer. He's 29 years cancer-free, but in the time between that diagnosis and now, he's done some extraordinary things for the people who came after him, right? He's the founder of Stupid Cancer. I know everybody's heard of it. We say Stupid Cancer. Where did that come from? Matato. He is the podcaster of the Out of Patients. That's right. Patients, Patients, Patients Like Me and Maybe You podcast, the creator of the documentary, The Cancer Mavericks. And he has a brand new upcoming book, May 2026. I asked to see it and he was like, it's on lockdown, but it's We the Patients, Understanding, Navigating, and Surviving America's Healthcare Nightmares. So I hope I got it all right. Welcome to the show, Matato.
Hello. That was a hell of an intro.
Blah. I gave you that. I went blah right at you. Has anybody ever called you the Matato before?
You win the prize for coronating that moniker.
Oh, good. You don't know this, but I love potatoes.
Okay. It makes all this adding up now.
Very Irish. I love my potatoes, and now I love my Matato. I think I love you more than potatoes so far, but we'll see. We'll get into it. So did I get the intro right, Matato?
Yeah. It can get very complicated because there's a lot weighing in over the sedimentary layers of decades. But yes, you did a great job.
Well, also, I forgot to mention that we were going to talk about sucking face.
Oh, yeah?
No. Well, I was listening to one of your podcasts, and it sounded like you were uncomfortable with the term sucking face.
No, that's from on Golden Pond. That's a Henry. I'm not uncomfortable with the phrase. It's like when old people say it. When Kathleen Turner, not Kathleen Turner, I'm going to forget the name. My mom's going to kill me. She's a
Jane Fonda? Is it Jane Fonda?
No, it was Henry Fonda and Catherine Hepburn.
That's right.
Said, let's suck face. Like, no, you're old. I don't want that. So the term is emblazoned in my retinas based on old people kissing.
Okay, so what is a better term for sucking face?
No, back in the 80s, you just make out with somebody. Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Making out. I think in New York City, there's a weird term. It's called to go with. That was what we used to say back then. Oh, are you going with them? That meant kissing them. That was a weird, maybe a Southern Staten Island thing in the 80s.
Is that right? Yeah, I remember as a little kid, it was Frenching.
Oh, French kissing, Frenching, yeah. Okay.
I really enjoyed that segment.
Are we taping? Is this live?
Believe it or not. But yeah, I was listening and I was like, you know what, we should address this. So in future terms, if anybody's talking to you about kissing, it should be making out.
Yeah, sure, why not?
All right, we get there. So when I got done with cancer, I wrote the books, the Healthy Cancer Comeback series, and I had a like-minded where I thought, geez, I'm going to pitch in. You know, I remember being in a state where I was just not myself, right? I was scrawny and weak and all the things. And I thought, I can help. I'm a fitness expert. I can help these people get their strength back. But there are some downsides being that I constantly make new friends who have cancer. I'm constantly notified that people have cancer, and sometimes I lose the folks who have cancer. So, what has been the upsides and the downsides for you taking on this endeavor since your diagnosis?
The phrase I like to use is it's a terrible privilege to do what
Yeah,
we do. I have lost many, many friends, too many friends. Even one is too many. I mean,
right,
family, yes, who hasn't? But when you work with a stellar group of people and you look at a photo from 20 years ago and one person is still alive, you have to live with that. And
right.
you don't want to build up a thick skin because you want the empathy, but you have to be able to integrate that into your soul and your purpose and what you do.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. It's this joy of knowing that every time I send a book out or I make the phone call, I believe that I'm helping somebody. Empowering them to do better and have a better chance. But it also is, woo, all the little knives in the heart, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It
Yeah.
never gets easy, but it would never make a difference if it didn't get easy. You do it because oftentimes I feel like this could be a little dopamine for founders, but if you don't do it, it won't get done. And you have to be mindful of how much toll it takes on you. But at the end of the day, it's regrettably a terrible occupational hazard. That's a weird way to say it. Watching friends die while you're going through life, trying to make things better for people that hopefully shouldn't have to die.
Right. Right. So, I mean, how hopeful are you that there is some I think with the I'm not saying any of this right because it's so important, right? But with the AI, I'm sure you've been to the ASCO convention, the American Society of Clinical Oncology. Have you been there?
Too many times.
Okay. Okay, so I've been there and I am so comforted by these geniuses. You look around and it's thousands of the greatest minds on planet Earth that are coming together to find more effective cures, more humane cures, etc. You pair those brilliant minds with AI. What is your prediction for the future of cancer or hopefully the death of cancer?
Well, we're both kids of the 80s, so my natural reaction is going to be Terminator, everyone dies. But I want to be
Yes.
optimistic because only good things can fall into bad hands all the time. I would like to believe that AI can become a tool like anything else and not a solution to anything, but it's going to have a very different adoption model, despite the fact that it is being adopted more quickly than any other technology in human history. So it's a forced adoption. But in healthcare, especially in oncology, I'm finding it to be a mixed bag based on generations. So do I want AI prescribing my medication for me? Maybe. If it eliminates risk, if there's still a human at the end of the stick, sure. Do I want it telling me what my tumor type is based on genomics? Hell yes, because it's going to know way better than anything that a human can do, because it's impossible for human to dissect genomics as quickly as the robots can. Would it be a great navigator? Sure. Should it recommend medicine? No. That's where I think we're going to get into the future debauchery, malfeasance, and shenanigans of AI in healthcare is the trust and the abuse.
Do you I mean, that all makes a lot of sense. Also, it's adds so much stress to it. Do you think that there are some solutions waiting? So, for example, with breast cancer, I feel very fortunate that all these people got so cranky about losing their mothers, their sisters, their wives, their daughters that they funded that disease and the cure rates skyrocketed. I look at pancreatic cancer and I think, yikes, they don't seem much closer to
Right.
high cure rates. Do you think AI will be part of, for the love of God, bringing those cure rates on pancreatic cancer up?
Well, I think we have to first define what cure really means at this point. The gift that keeps on giving. I'm disease free, but 30 years later, I look great. Don't look under the hood. Right there's a modicum of balance on what cure really could mean. Could it mean is it gone forever? Nothing's gone forever. Could it mean I'm assured for a while? Sure, that's great. Could it mean I'm living with it and I won't die anytime soon? Sure, I'll take that too. Could it mean I have 2 years left to live, but I have money and I could go to Aruba? Sure. We have to define what cure means. But if it's like, I would look at more as the reduction of suffering at this point right now, because historically I was diagnosed in 1996. Everyone kind of died back then. Today we kind of live and we suffer differently than better problems to have, I suppose, as a metaphor. Cancer is hundreds of different genetic diseases. Not one. We used to think of one thing. Oh, you got
Right.
cancer. All right, just don't get cancer. Like it's like like measles. Don't get measles. It's such a complicated biological phenomenon. Yes, the computers are doing a great job. AI is doing groundbreaking things, but there's a real difference between discovery and actually implementing it in real science in the real world. So I think we're getting there. I think there's still going to be issues of trust. There's still a humanity component to all of this as well. But genetics are really the future. They've always been. They've been lying in wait. We just haven't been able to have the technology to tap into them. So yes, it's a very long answer to a short question. I do believe AI and genetics are the future of trying to not get it and not suffer.
Got it. Got it. Now let's take us back to your diagnosis for folks who are unfamiliar.
Picture it, Sicily, 1922. I was born and raised in Brooklyn. I grew up in New York City. I was a concert pianist, trained for 11 years since the age of 11 in college. I was going to grad school to be a film composer. That was my goal and my job, my lot in life at 20 years old. And during the summer of 95, before I started senior year, my left hand lost motor coordination out of nowhere. So when I got back to school, I couldn't really play. This is called arpeggiation. I couldn't run my fingers up and down the keyboard nearly as well as I used. I noticed right away. And that's strange. Whatever. I'm 21, invincible, invulnerable. Who cares? Just move on. Eventually, things got worse, and I got headaches, and I fainted and slurred speech. No, there's something wrong with Matt. So then I had MRI, and then I found this giant, giant tumor sitting in my cerebellum, which explained everything. So they didn't know it was cancer yet. They had to back then, craniotomies were the thing. Massive, rip your head open gulag brain surgeries. They don't really do that much anymore at all. And took it out, pathology, boom, cancer. You ain't done yet, kid. We got to do a couple of more things to you. So that's kind of the dime store tour. It's chapter 2 of my book will be a little more of a not quite a memoir, but a bit of a more details in there. But that was my 95 to 96 diagnosis.
Oh, okay. So just because I want to know, you start losing the ability to move your hand. How long does it take between that experience and going in to see the doctor? How much time did that tumor have to progress?
5 months.
Wow.
Well, this is the young adult story that is my
Right.
legacy, which is that you're not taken seriously. But at the same time, I kind of forgive the doctors for not recognizing that a pianist losing motor coordination in his left hand to arpeggiate meant brain cancer. That's a forgivable misdiagnosis.
Right. I mean, I would have, in my mind, thought MS, Parkinson's, the
Yeah.
ability to, you're losing motor functions. So were you checked for those things in the meantime?
Yeah, the comedy of terrors of the
Oh,
fall of 95 included what they think Epstein-Barr, mini stroke, MS, cerebral palsy, carpal tunnel. That was the first one, carpal tunnel syndrome.
wow.
I mean, yes, they were kind of getting closer and closer, but it wasn't until really bad things started to happen to me and the shit really hit the fan that I was like, oh, I should probably go see a real doctor when I get home and see my neurologist. And oh, an MRI. What's that? That was December.
And then what was I mean, what did they tell you was going to be that? Was there a plan? Did they say get your affairs in order? How did that work?
It was so long ago. I'm relying on my dad took notes in a Word document that we still have.
Yeah.
And my writer and I read through that Word document, word for word, what my dad wrote down between November and May of 96. The way we think it happened, it's no way of really remembering, it was a little fog, was that over the break, they didn't know what it was, but they thought it was this because the MRI was there. During the surgical procedure, they took it out, and the surgeon said something like, "We think you'll be fine, but we have to wait for pathology to come back." And then a week later, pathology came back and said it's definitely cancer, but the surgeon didn't agree with pathology. So we had to send out to 17 pathology labs around the world to confirm what the hell it was. And they finally all came back with consensus that actually was malignant. But then they're like, well, now what? Does that mean am I going to die anymore? And well, we need to give you radiation and chemotherapy and all these things. And well, wait, give me a day. I want to plan. It's
Right.
dark humor here. They said the version in my head that my dad and I agree with is let's see where you're at if you're alive in 5 months. So let's get through the surgery. Let's get through the radiation. Let's figure out what happens. And it was a very we kind of don't know. Wait and see.
And then it was okay? Was it everything okay after
No,
surgery and
I died.
radiation? And then you died. Okay.
You're watching. This is a very handsome ghost on your show right
You're incredibly. Hey, Matado ghost version. That's like a video game. So thankfully, did you not have a recurrence after that? Was that the end of
No,
your
I had no recurrence. I've
thank
had
you.
late effects and side effects and gifts that keep on giving and all sorts of fabulous, better problems to have.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know you introduced me as a 29-year, but as of my intro to you and today, it's 30 years.
Congratulations. Congratulations. So what does that mean to you? How does that feel?
It's surreal. It's a weird number. I remember turning 30 years old, and that was surreal. And now my tumor's as old as I felt when I turned 30 22 years ago. And that it's a terrible privilege because I belong to a nonprofit called Man Up to Cancer. It's the largest like Y chromosome only bro group in Cancerland. And I'm friends with their board of directors and their teams. And I spoke at they host a camp in the middle of the woods in Pennsylvania, like roughing it. And not even glamping, like an actual like an old summer camp that they rent out for like 4 days for 200 men, 200 broken men to show up all over the country, all over the world. And I spoke around a campfire in one of the evening perennials and addressed 180 broken men. Some of them knew who I was, but some of them didn't. And when I said the word 30, I had never seen the reactions that I did. These are men that are in it a year out, 3 years out, maybe just crossed 5 years.
Yeah.
It was inconceivable for them to even believe it's possible what their lives will be in 30 years. So that was another reminder of how valuable it is that I hold this true and dear to myself, my identity. Yeah, I'm a 30-year cancer survivor. I know people that are a 40-year cancer survivor.
Yeah.
And we're rare and we're like the wild, the spotted owl in the woods. You don't see us very often, but there's a real burden, a terrible, wonderful burden of meaning and purpose to owning that when you are meeting people who can't wait to say that number themselves.
And we will be right back.
Are you looking for the perfect gift for a loved one battling cancer? The Cancer Comeback Series by Fitz Kohler offers hope, inspiration, and practical guidance. With Your Healthy Cancer Comeback, My Noisy Cancer Comeback, and The Healthy Cancer Comeback Journal. These books are a lifeline for all patients and survivors. Right now, you can order autographed copies at a special discount. Show your support and help a loved one go from sick to strong. Visit fitzness.com today. That's FITZNESS.com. Fitzness.com.
We're back. Yeah, I hear you. So I host quite a few running events for cancer. I mean, I host races all over the country for running and various causes, but the Donna National Marathon to Finish Breast Cancer in particular, we have hundreds of breast cancer survivors, men and women, show up every year to do, whether it's 5K, half, the full, and then thousands of other people who thankfully have not had breast cancer. But I I work hard to make sure I grab every man or woman with a survivor bib on it. And, let's find out who you are, how far out you are. And it's so helpful when I grab those women in their 27 years or 43 years cancer free because, I don't feel like I don't feel like it's a monkey on my back anymore. It was awful. Like it's hard to believe it was me that went through all of that, but I just don't wear it. It's not so heavy anymore. But when I meet Susie Q and she says I'm 35 years cancer free or 25, I think, oh, it's possible. I can
Yeah.
get there too. So
Mhm.
the contradiction between feeling like I'm unburdened and then also having this tremendous relief when someone like you says 30 years, I go, oh wow,
Yeah.
I guess I was wearing it, huh?
Yeah. The late Stuart Scott, great guy, had a great quote that cancer doesn't define you, it informs you, and that it's not about how long you live, it's how you live.
Right,
So I take that really to heart. And even Lance Armstrong, whatever your thoughts on of that
right.
guy, said that cancer may leave your body, but it never leaves your life. These may sound like cat posters, but they do occupy some rent and space in my brain about what it means to identify every day.
Yeah. So some people say they're glad they had cancer because of XYZ. If they could go back and they would have it all. I'm not one of those. If I could go back and undo the cancer switch, even though I feel like I've done very good things since cancer to be helpful, et cetera, I would undo it. Would you undo it?
See, I think that's like a very paradoxical question to ask because I wouldn't be able to make the choice if it already hadn't happened to me.
Right. But it's the mindset. You know, those people that are like, I'm glad I had cancer because, or I'm glad I got hit by the bus.
Like, am
Or,
I glad that I started a business that failed? No, right? Those are things I chose to do
right.
versus things that I didn't choose to do that happened to happen to me. That would I be better off if it didn't happen? I would not have no idea. But I look back on the choices I didn't have control over.
Right.
And I look at the boat wake of the choices I made because of that decision that wasn't mine to make.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't trade it for the world.
I hear you. I hear you. So you've done some wonderful things since your diagnosis. What inspired you to start advocating and speaking out and supporting others?
I don't think I realized how angry I was in the 90s because I didn't meet anyone that was my age, which is very common even still today. Today you can type in "I'm 20 with cancer," and it'll tell you there are young adult cancer groups, and we planted those seeds in the internet 25 years ago. But there was no way for me to have any idea there was someone that wasn't 8 or 80 that I could talk to, college student with brain cancer, or any cancer for that matter. So yeah, I lost my career. I couldn't play anymore. I couldn't go to grad school. Like, no one would date me. I was infertile. I was impotent. I was bald. I couldn't eat. I was anathema. I was a pariah. And there was no social work. There was no therapy. It was walk it off. You'll be fine. Remember the 90s? Just get over it. You look great.
Walk off brain cancer. Go
Yeah.
for it. Yeah.
Yeah. Go breathe some air outside. You'll be fine. And I guess I didn't realize how much trauma, because we didn't even use that word in the 90s, was
Right.
piling up inside me, that I didn't know what to do with the anger I didn't know I had. The transformational moment was when I actually rehabbed myself over a couple of years to play piano well enough for me. I'd never be a composer or whatnot. And I was giving a piano concert to raise money for the American Cancer Society at NYU, and just a fun little thing to do. And I feel like I was spotted by an agent, but it really was a guy named Craig Lustig. Craig was also bald, Jewish, in his 20s, had brain cancer,
Yikes.
lived in New York City, actually went to my alumni, know him, ticked every box. And he happened to be on the board of directors for the predominant cancer policy organization in the country. I like hit jackpot with this guy. He's like, "Matt, I want to know you. What you're doing is incredible. How'd you like to be a cancer advocate?" The fuck is a cancer advocate? This is
Right.
2004. We didn't use those words before. He's like, "Well, maybe you could help the next you have a less shittier time." All right, sign me up. What does this mean? That was when I realized I had permission to be pissed, and I could do something about the trauma I didn't know I was feeling and the mad that I definitely started to feel. That's what got me into this. I can now do something to help the next 20 something not be miserably isolated. That has nothing to do with cure, but all about their practical well-being as a Gen Xer. And that's where Stupid Cancer started.
It's interesting where you're talking about your anger, and I felt that, and a lot of us do, but it's we're not angry at a person. It's not like we're angry at our stepdad or angry at this. It's angry at the disease and the lack of support. Isn't it interesting to be angry at not someone for doing something, yet you found a way to provide a solution?
Yeah, not to downplay traditional victimization, but you feel really victimized and you feel like I didn't deserve this. I didn't ask for this. I didn't want it to get done to me. And I have no closure on it. And I didn't realize I could get closure on this. And I've been very open about this, building Stupid Cancer, launching this global populist movement and helping millions of people was resolution for my trauma. It really was. I built the thing I wished I had. So no one else would never have to not have it. Is that grammar? Yes.
It's heroic. Well, I say nobody, that's a strong word. People aren't alone with cancer anymore. You know, you go
No.
in, there's a group for everything on even Facebook and Instagram, and we have so many resources. So thank you for spearheading that.
Again, it's a terrible privilege to have been part of the first. One of Craig's other friends, this guy Steve, was also diagnosed in his 20s in the 90s with testicular cancer, and Steve invented the first AOL dial-up testicular cancer group on AIM.
Wow.
Like, we are progenitors of all the things today, and it's a privilege to look back and say, yes, any Reddit, Substack, Patreon, cancer, everything, every platform. Not Patreon. What's that? My kids are on whatever it is. They all
Reddit,
have cancer.
Substack, yeah.
they all have cancer threats. And it all started with AOL chat groups and Livestrong and online forum and boards. We built that. We started that. And yes, it's a lot harder to be alone these days, but sometimes when you are still, not 8 or 80, a college student, a teenager, 20 something, it is going to be a little harder to find people that are exactly like you. And I think that's the other thing that has become a better problem to have is the splinter groups, the good use of splinter groups. Now there's AOAs in the LGBTQ, AOAs in the African American community, AOAs in the trans community. This is necessary branches off the same timeline of people finding peer-to-peer support, which wasn't even a term 20 years ago.
Right.
So I want to be optimistic that, God forbid, you get sick today and you're in your 20s. You can Google young adult cancer, or the word is there, or there's a trained nurse at your cancer center that we built infrastructure for 25 years that's going to treat you age first and disease second.
So what kind of work does Stupid Cancer do now? What do you do with that?
Well, I stepped down in 2019. My successor took up the reins. She's keeping my baby thriving and proud. It's still the largest young adult cancer support community in the world. Advocacy, research, support, live events, education, exhibiting, social content strategy. It's an ecosystem. I'm really proud of it. My successor's name is Allison Sill Berman. She lost her brother to cancer. Her husband is a cancer survivor. And she used to work in the cancer space before she assumed my role. Not that you need to have all those credentials to qualify for that job, but she's a real leader and I'm proud of her. And anyone listening or watching, go to stupidcancer.org. I hope you don't need it, but it's still there.
Right. Or you can contribute. You can go there and be a supporter.
Yes. Write them big checks. They need them.
Big checks, small checks, checks. And then now you have, there's quite a few other things you've done in between, but let's go to your upcoming book. Tell us about that.
Yeah. So my pandemic project wasn't an adult coloring book. I got the chance to produce an 8-part Spotify documentary series on history of cancer advocacy in America since the 1960s and Burns. That opened up a door to write a book. And I'm a theater kid. So I'm like, it's not what I want to say. It's what does the crowd want to hear?
Yes.
And I'm like, if I'm going to write a book, what the hell does America need to know? They could read about me all they want. My story's my story. There's enough cancer books out there. Another cancer book on a shelf getting dusty.
Right.
And it wasn't a passion project. I wanted to figure out, what does it really mean to go traditional route with a publisher and a proposal and a writer and put it out there for the right path. And I'm pivoting a lot from the day-to-day grind of like holes in the dam constantly. Advocacy means punching holes in the dam. That's all you do. You're trying to keep the dam from cracking. But what's upstream from that? What's causing the dam to leak in the first place? And we know what the answer is. I've been completely fucked up in this country in healthcare. But I asked myself a pointed question that somehow after a year and a half, no one's ever asked except me. And that is, if the NRA has the gun lobby and Planned Parenthood has the gun lobby and veterans have the veteran lobby, where's the cancer lobby? Why has there never been a cancer lobby? And even at fundamental base numbers, there's 19 million survivors over the age of 18. And we can even very conservatively put at least one caregiver per cancer survivor. Sure. And they all want X, Y, and Z. But as a voting bloc, what would they want in their states as far as laws go? That was my question. Why has no one ever organized the cancer community besides those pretty hill days and testifying before Congress with bald kids? Enough. They don't give a shit. They don't give a shit unless you not reelect them. So this was my working theory. And I wrote this book with my writer, Jen Singer, who was also a young adult cancer survivor that I know it's stupid cancer. And the book is, my version of the book is a dark, sardonic Gen X bitch slap on why American healthcare can never have nice things. It really is more of a manual and a field guide as to why it is the way it is, not that it's broken.
Right.
With tips and tricks and loopholes and a larger narrative about how we were writing this after they assassinated the healthcare CEO and then Trump took over and everything's messed up right now. They're doing the job for me. They're pissing off all these people. But the fundamental concept of the book is we're here to launch America's first cancer patient rights movement.
And so what does that include specifically? What specifically is screwed up? And then what are the solutions you would promote?
Well, I would say most things are screwed up, and that's a whole other podcast we could have over bourbon one day. But at the core of, if you were to look at the data I've gotten from the cancer community over 18 months from straw polling, yes, we want to die. We don't die. We can't legislate death. That's not a thing. And there's so many things that can be made better, prior authorizations and denials. But the one thing that every single person agreed with, if there were a bill in their house, in their state, that they would want to vote for if an elected official ran on that ticket, was we need to figure out a better way to reduce medical bankruptcy in oncology care. It's different than I want a better nurse, better than AI, I want this drug. They want no fear of medical ruin because they didn't ask to get sick. And on a single issue, that's a great idea. The first agenda of We the Patients, the cancer lobby, is to introduce laws in states at some point, probably by 2028, because this takes a long time to build an electioneering database and a movement that creates caps on the amount of money a family can have to put out before becoming cost centers to the state and loss leaders to the state. The state wants their citizens payroll taxes, sales tax, real estate tax. They want that. That's where the state gets their money from people in the state buying shit and doing things.
Right.
Those families are no good to the state if they're in arrears, selling their house, foreclosing, and the banks make the money. And that's the fundamental idea, is if you ran a ticket on, we're introducing something we're collectively manifesting in theory as the Cancer Patient Protection Act, which is the consumer protection law that guarantees no one in that state, and we're thinking states first, should ever have the fear of financial ruin. You should not have to choose between baby food and chemotherapy.
Right. Right.
And what would that mean as a law? Who pays for it? It's already been decided based on our strategy for another conversation.
Okay.
But that's what this movement means. If we can interject a narrative in the states that 20% of every single district, all 435 in America, is the cancer lobby, when only by comparison 4% is the gun lobby.
Right. It
That
could
would
be
change the
pretty
narrative, because it would be, yes, that's the word, civic power at the ballot for the cancer community. That has never happened. It's never been thought of. It's never even been tried. And that's what the book is all about. We are fed up. We are pissed off. We are sick and tired of going broke. We just want to not die. We don't want to be denied care. We want our doctor to be the sanctuary that we hope we trust to give us the right things. Get out of my fucking way. Let's just do this. And it's a populist concept. And that's what the book kind of trails off on. And we hope people choose to join We the Patients.
I can't wait to read it. So I have questions. They're questions because I don't know the answer to them. So I was fully insured, and I think it was a $5,000 out of pocket max for each year of my treatment. And my first year of treatment, there was $1 million full of chemo and surgery, etc. But I paid $5,000. Now, there was a woman next to me who is, and this is just a reality, a known heroin addict, homeless, not a pot to pee in, not a penny to her name. She had the same doctors, the same drugs, the same treatment, same facility, everything. And so I paid the $5,000. I actually consider $5,000 to save my life, the deal of the century, or 10,000 because it was 8 years worth of treatment, right? So I don't begrudge any of that, and I had extraordinary medical care. Also, woman with $0 had extraordinary care, was not turned away. I'm from the, I mean, I personally work with the Donna Foundation and Blossoming Butterflies and other organizations that will step in and say, or ACS, you don't have gas? We're going to get you a gas card. Because there were chairs empty next to me where my oncology nurse would say, so-and-so didn't come because they didn't have gas. And I was like, oh my God, can I buy that person a gas card? Like, let's get them to treatment. So I know there's the uninsured. Are they being expected to pay the $1 million? That, I mean, the Heroin Mary didn't pay anything. I paid $5. What? And I don't mean, I'm just curious. Why are some people being asked to pay $1 million? Am I wrong? What? I'm confused. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. And that's where my pay grade ends, because I have smarter people to answer those questions. And that's why I work with great teams. The long and the short is basically that the reason why Medicaid works the way it does is to account for women like her because they're loss leaders, and the state makes up for it by negotiating with insurance so no one loses money on that person.
Okay.
You are a card-carrying, tax-paying citizen of America, which means you are a profit margin for the insurance industry. She was not. So when you are a profit margin for the insurance industry, you pay and they don't. But someone is always paying. So it's
Right.
not even Stevens, and she didn't get away scot-free. She's just taking advantage of, that's a wrong way to say it. Her situation called for the usage of basically state and federal funds to cover her care through Medicaid.
So if you're Joe Blow and you do have a job and you don't have my great insurance, they give you $1 million bill and you're just expected to pay it. Are they doing that? Is that where
Yeah.
what the
My best
lobby's
friend
for?
my best friend Sal nearly died this week because her insurance just decided the day before her treatment to say no. They denied an approval the day before she was supposed to get it. She fought and fought and fought. She was a day late to get it. But that's the chicanery that's out
Yeah.
there. And it's not anecdotal anymore, and it's not in the fringes anymore. Your insurance should not determine whether you live or die.
Right.
Period. End of subject. I don't care who you voted for, where you live, whether you're a cocaine addict, homeless person, or you're a trillionaire.
Yeah.
Your insurance should not determine whether you live or die with a life-altering disease. That is not okay. And there is a way to square that, but it's not about booing. It's about voting. And until now, there's never been a path to a civic force that is the cancer community.
So the goal is not the goal there is to get insurance companies to not have say, oh, it's the approval denial situation. So if your doctor says this patient needs this treatment, they have to pay for it. Is that the goal? And I
Okay,
ask because
great.
I'm very interested in that, right? Okay.
I can introduce you to my team because they have all the right answers.
Okay.
The TLDR that I mean, no, Matt, only say this, Matt, you're going to say it wrong, is that prior authorization used to be a good idea. It started out, and this is in my book as well, it started out as a really good idea. Meant as just a cautionary oversight in the event that there was abuse by the doctors, right? But it's flipped. Now it's a cautionary abuse by the payers to save money. It started out as protecting patients. Now it's harming patients.
Okay.
So just because your doctor thinks you should have this, it's 2026. Your doctor probably knows a lot better than your health insurance company because the person that they have to get approval from isn't a doctor.
Right. Right.
So that's the anecdote that explains the basic fundamentals of it's one thing to have oversight to protect patients from harm. I'm all for that. It's another to have an entire profit driven mechanism that wants you dead because it's cheaper.
Yikes. That's a very sad statement.
Yes.
I dislike that. So, if someone's diagnosed tomorrow, what is your advice for them? Like 3 steps they should take to make sure they're given the treatment they need. And
Don't Google it.
right.
Please don't
Also,
Google it.
don't accept advice from your friend's cousin friend who also had that disease, right?
I drank my piss and I'm cured now. Yeah, don't do that.
Oh
Don't
my
do that.
God. What is the weirdest thing anybody has ever said to you in regards to your cancer?
Ooh, wow. There's been a lot. Calculating like the Mount Rushmore of answers here.
Yeah. You can give me a couple if you want.
Wow. That was a gotcha question, but I'm trying to get my brain working, Fitzy. Man,
I was told on the regular that I looked just like crazy Britney Spears all the time. You look like crazy Britney Spears. And I would say, thank you.
I mean, this isn't like but you look great is kind of a throwaway. I mean, I have an anecdote that I could tell about the weirdest thing that happened to me.
Let's hear it.
I was read my last rites by a priest right after my surgery. He came in, barged into the room at 3 a.m, and I woke up and I told him I was Jewish, and he ran away.
That's bonkers.
Yeah,
Did anybody even ask for the last rites, or he just was like,
he went. It's sad. He went to the wrong room, which is
"Oh,
sad.
God." Okay.
But just like I'm Jewish, go away.
That is wild. Now, how many times have people asked you, do you want to sign a DNR?
Oh no, I've never had one of those.
I've had probably 30 different doctors ask if I if I wanted to sign a DNR. And I was like, no, the
Is that like
plan
hitting
here,
on you or something? Like, that's a strange
do, the do not resuscitate.
reoccurrence every time.
It's very weird. Anytime you start
It's like,
this treatment,
can I buy you a drink? Would you like a DNR?
stop it. No, no. And I'm like, do I look like, I mean, is that an option for me today? For me to be in a place where you should not resuscitate me? Back off.
That's terrible.
It's super terrible. It's terrible. Okay. And then who's your best cancer friend?
Actual person that had cancer, and
Yeah.
is there
Yeah.
basically a friend I have because we met through Cancerland.
Okay.
Craig.
Craig. Craig. And do you actually talk cancer together, or are you guys so far past it?
Oh, and we're dads now, and we got lives and things to do, but we talk every now and then. He's my first cancer buddy, and he's one of my best friends of all time.
Mm. So what's next for you? You got this book coming out. I know that's next, but what do you see for your future?
I want to go on tour.
Okay.
I want to give We the Patients tours around the country about the book. I want to educate and train communities on how to fuck back, and I want to build our movement and create America's first cancer voter bloc.
I love it.
That's my 5 years. I will announce here on the show that I'm launching my book but the pub date is May 19th, but I'm doing something, again, probably only I could get away with. I'm giving my first public solo piano concert in 22 years at Lincoln Center, and I'm launching the book at an event that I'm calling MZ30 on April 28th. And the website, it's on MatthewZachary.com, my website, but it's mz30.org. It's a fundraiser for We the Patients. And anyone listening that's in the New York City area wants to come up to the New York City area, it's a 2-hour show, book readings, special guests, honored guests, and 5 new songs.
Wow. Uh, that's really powerful stuff. Congratulations. Once you said you lost the ability to play, I was a little bit heartbroken for you. I love that you're back at it. That's
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah, I you can't see it, but over there, I have a leased upright silent piano in my office that I'm playing every day to get my chops back.
That's incredible. And you know what? I think that's full circle.
Yes. 30 years to the day. Yeah. Full circle.
Freaking full circle. Okay, so I know we're running out of time. There's 2 things we do at the end of my show. Number 1 is a communication tip. So I'm trying to get the audience to do better and be better. So it could be stop saying so much, or look people in the eye. What would you like people to do to become a better communicator? Because you clearly are a great one.
All right. I'll give you 2. One is because it's more timely to today. Stop using AI to write your fucking emails.
Brilliant.
Right. If you send me an email or a LinkedIn DM and it's like, this was a punch to the gut, go fuck yourself. If you're that lazy to not write something to me or anyone for that matter, I don't want to know you. Number 1, hard pass, go away. The second, communications would be, I would recommend something for yourself. Do something for yourself every day. I look myself in the mirror every day and I tell myself I love me. And
Brilliant.
it works.
The voice in your head has to be on your side or everything goes to pot, right?
It's all your energy. It's all energy. Your thoughts create your reality.
All right. Final ask is
Okay.
obviously a lot of folks are working out that listen to my show. What song would you recommend they add to their playlist? And what kind of exercise should they do while listening to your song?
Right Now by Van Halen or Life is a Highway by Rascal Flatts, the remake.
Excellent choices. And what kind of workouts should they do while listening to those songs?
What's the one where you push out?
Chest press?
Thank you.
Okay, chest press.
Yeah.
Those
You
are
can
great songs.
tell how trained I am in the gym world.
Right, you're a real gym rat. I can hear it with the push out thing. I'm going to add those to
I got the dad bod going on. You kidding me? It's good stuff.
You know what's so interesting? And people pick on dad bods, but dads are hot. Like, there's something very sexy about a dad. So good for you having a dad bod. It means you have kids, right? Oh, hey, Matt, before we go, tell everybody where they can find you.
I am somehow the only Matthew Zachary on Google, so that should make it pretty easy to find me.
Or they can just look up Mateto.
Yeah, I have to SEO that.
Just try that. Mateto, maybe trademark. All right, Mateto, I love you. Thank you so much for your time today. That was excellent.
This is fantastic. I really appreciate being here.
Okay. And then our final assignment is you have to look into the camera and with gusto, tell all our listeners to get to work.
All right, bitches, get to work.
Get to work. My brand new book, You Supercharge, the exact formula for fitness, weight loss, and longevity, is out right now and has something for everybody. Ladies, chapter Full Throttle Femininity is dedicated to all the things you think you can't control, including menopause, weight loss, maintaining muscle mass, building bone density, and earning yourself a JJ of steel. Guys, chapter Man Mode was written just for you. You'll learn how to combat menopause, tune up your ticker, banish a beer belly for good, maximize your muscles, and earn the most powerful pecker on the planet. From the ground on up, from the inside and out, let's supercharge your body and mind and make you unstoppable. Order signed copies of You Supercharged at fitzness.com in the United States, Amazon, everywhere else.